Thank you for tuning in to IMC YouTube. This message was recorded in front of a live audience at the IMC's Branson Praisefest event. We hope this message will be a blessing and an encouragement to you. Please make sure to subscribe below and hit the like button. God bless you.
I'm putting my product in my Bible right here. Keep an eye on it. Someone's probably going to try to steal it. Man, it's great to be with you guys. I tell you what, my little wife Laurie's with me, my honey love, my sugar babe, my woman. You know, we'll have 45 years in May if you're sending money. I'm going to tell you something about us ministers that a lot of ministers won't ever share because they're too humble and everything, but I'm here to try to balance that out. I'm going to tell you what your minister loves. Are you ready? Cash. Cash. Some of y'all want to give a half of a turkey or a half a calf. We love cash. And gift cards if it's Sonic and Whataburger. You know, every time I bite into a Whataburger, every fat cell in my body does the hallelujah chorus. Something about it, you know. And that malt, that chocolate malt just stays with you all day long. Then you see it over here and back here and here. My little wife, Laurie, she dresses me and everything, and usually she taps me on the tummy. Some of y'all, she'll go, "What are we going to do about this right here? What are we going to do about this right here?" I said, "Baby, we ain't going to do anything about this right here because if I have a chili dog and I spill, I catch it right there." Are you with me, buddy? Are you with me? And you catch it right there. And it's good to catch it there because it don't look on your breeches. Don't look good on your breeches, especially if you're wearing khaki. Khaki. Don't let him wear that khaki. It already looks khaki, but be careful, the khaki. But if you have a tummy, catches it right there. Then you take a chip, rake it up. Oh. I know y'all been having a good time, haven't you? Man, y'all have had preaching and singing and everything, and now you're going to take a little break with the swan, you know, try to calm you down, bring you down. You know, Laurie, my honey love, my sugar babe, my woman, 4'11", going to heaven, and she's brilliant. She's smart. We're Baptist. She was the Southern Baptist Bible drill champion when she was 14 years old. 14. Bible drill champion of all Southern Baptist. So I'm going to tell you something. People ask me all the time, "Do you know the books of the Bible?" I said, "I don't have to memorize all the books of the Bible. My wife has them memorized, and we are one flesh relationship." And she's a worker. She's a worker. My wife's a worker. She's got that booth ready. She's a worker. And our hotel room, it's, you know, everything's just fine. I mean, our home is beautiful. Everything is perfect. If I die right now, we are ready for visitation in the morning. Are you ready? We are ready. Matter of fact, we're ready if they visit our room, our hotel room. It's just, you know, fixed up and everything. I go, "Good night, honey. Let it go. Let it go. Relax. I'm not letting it go." I remember, though, she was very submissive, you know, before we got married. I was in the seminary, and she went to TCU, Texas Carnal University. She was a frog, one of the frogs, which was a plague, but she came to our church to sing for my youth group, and man, when she walked in, I mean, hubba, I mean, good looking, I mean, hubbatai in the Greek. Third person singular, she's just beautiful, and I made a move on her. And took me a year, but finally, you know, we're getting married. She comes to me about the honeymoon. She has a brochure for Hawaii and Acapulco, and she said, "Honey, you're the leader. You're the leader. You know, wherever you want to go is fine." Well, I said, "Well, we ain't going to either one of those places." I had $600. That's all I had. 1979, $600. That was it to my whole name. And she said, "Do you think your mom and dad would pay for it? Floyd Leon and Pauline Bernadine?" My people, you know, we weren't white collar, we weren't blue collar, we were more ring around the collar. My daddy was raised a sharecropper. You know what my dad says about honeymoons? Just go home, you know. Which would have been fine with me, but she wanted to go somewhere. So you know where I took her? Corpus Christi, Texas. The most beautiful brown water you've ever seen in your life. We stayed at the La Quinta, which in Spanish means next to Denny's. We had a good breakfast. I remember that, Mr. Perdue, right down here. Look at there. You got them white hair on you. A little snow on the rooftop, fire in the furnace. She doesn't seem too impressed, but anyhow, y'all, are y'all irritated at one another? There's a lot of couples by now if you've been here the whole time, there's couples here right now that are faking it for Jesus. You've had gospel songs and preaching, but he irritated you this morning. And when we get home, I'm killing him. That's normal. That's normal. Laurie and I remember when we were here in 1921. Oh, whoa, that was back to the future, wasn't it? 2021, and right, the COVID, was that terrible? Or man, Laurie and I, that COVID was just pitiful. I mean, I had 85 events canceled. Other artists, we're just, I'm at home alone with my woman, and I love her, but you know what I mean, buddy? Or y'all seem happy. Well, maybe. Okay. So, I'm sitting in my recliner. Am I bothering anybody in my recliner? Men, you deserve a recliner. We need feel like a man. Get one with the stick on the side and pop that thing up. And just pop it up. I bet you Billy Graham had one. I bet you Billy Graham had a rocker with a stick on the side and pop that thing up in the name of the Lord Jesus. You could just pop it together, our people had a lazy boy. We bought them used, but had the stick on the side. My wife, her people are well-to-do. I'm not having a stick on my furniture. So we have to get these furniture where you rock it back. You just have to lean back, throw your hip out, die early, and then she cries for a week and then goes on a cruise with David Jeremiah, just finishes that cruise up and goes with Landon, By the way, we're looking forward to that cruise. Y'all need to sign up if you haven't signed up. If you sign up for that, you get some bonus points in heaven. Putting up with all of us on that boat, but we're going to have a good time. But anyhow, my little honey, I'm sitting in the recliner. I'm not bothering anybody, and I'm watching Gunsmoke, 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 Andy Griffith, Andy Griffith, Andy Griffith. Y'all been there? I'm watching that. I'm enjoying that. I'm not bothering anybody. We know that channel is for us older people because there's Pat Boone standing there looking at us saying, have you thought about a walk-in bathtub? Don't you? Us older people like a tub, but we can't get in there and out like we used to, where you shimmy down in there. Remember the days when you shimmy down in there? Felt good. Ma'am, you remember. You got your sweater on, you're cold right now. You having a hot flash at your age, aren't you? That's all right, honey. Precious memories, how they linger. But we get in that tub and you shimmy down in there. Remember? Now, whoop, whoop, you could slip, hip, game changer. I've thought about that walk-in bathtub, but I'm afraid to get that walk-in bathtub because I'm afraid I'll get in there with all that water and I'll have a stroke or a heart attack. And Laurie ain't going to open the door. Because she does not want water on her hardwood floors. She'll just be stepped away going, you're going to be with Jesus. Have you seen those commercials about the walk-in tub? Those are expensive. Those are expensive. I've thought about the jacuzzi. Some have jacuzzi, ma'am, a jacuzzi where it jacuzzis you. And us older people, we like a jacuzzi. It feels good. But we have to be careful because our skin's gotten thinner. I get little hickeys on my arm. Don't act so holy over here. You remember when we were teenagers and you hoped to get a hickey? Now we get a hickey everywhere and we don't know where we got them. You know, we just wake up and there's another one right there. My skin is thinner. When I'm at a truck stop and I put my hands under the blower, my skin looks like Gulf Shores, Alabama. And my skin over my eyes, Laurie wants me to get my eyes done, but I'm afraid to do that because I'll get my, my skin. See all that right there? I'm waiting for Medicare to pay for it, But in the morning, I got to lift it up. But I'm afraid to get it clip. She said, you need to be a clip. You're a speaker. You're in front of a lot of people. You need to clip. I'm afraid to do it because I don't want to come back next time and some old boy in the back going, is that Kenny Rogers? That was tacky. Forgive me, Lord. But I love my little honey, But, during the COVID, you get sort of tense about things, During the day, being together that much, hanging around together that much. And so, usually when I'm on the road, when I take off, Laurie's at home going, I can get some things done now. And when I'm on the road, I'm going, freedom! But there I am at the COVID. Some of you have heard me share this testimony, but I'm sitting in the recliner, not bothering anybody. She'll come over and stand there and go, you know what? My father, her daddy, World War II, Navy, lived to be 95, 2017. She goes, my father fixed everything. My father never hired someone to come to our home to fix something. My father got out of the recliner and fixed it. If he didn't know how to fix it, he read the instructions. But my father, he fixed it. And I shouldn't have said anything, but I just, during the COVID, your brain. And I said, well, my mama cooked. And oh, that was not a good night. That was not a good night. But when my little honey and I would laugh the most during the COVID time, when we go to bed at night. We have a split king bed. Do y'all have a split king? Dennis and Linda, have y'all gotten one yet? Pray about it. Spend that money. You just got a ton of it. You just spend it. Do y'all have one? The couple next to you, are they friends with you? Do y'all have one? What's the problem? Your grandkids don't need all your money. We have a split king bed. It's a split, but I have my mattress box springs. She has her mattress box springs, and that's helpful because I have restless leg. Some of y'all have restless leg. Don't come up to my product table in a little bit and go, Brother Dennis, if you get you some lavender bar of soap, put it between your knees. I ain't doing that. I take a pill every day. I got my little pill box. I got a ton of pills. Well, you know how we take pills. I got pill for this, pill for that. That commercial, do you have a going problem? I hate that commercial, but makes me go. I take a thyroid pill. I have a restless leg pill I take. But sometimes we'd be in bed and just even though I took the pill, it just, what I'm saying. And then Laurie, who's very quiet, if you meet her back there, she's a quiet little petite little thing. But when we're home alone, she goes, your knee is jerking. I'm startled. I got my CPAP machine on. I just, shh. I don't even know who I am. I don't know if I'm a Baptist or Church of Christ. You wear a CPAP machine for deep sleep, and I was in deep sleep. And sometimes it leaks. Sometimes your mask leaks. You know that. It leaks. And then you know what she does? You're leaking! I was a bedwetter till I was in the 6th grade. I thought I'd had an accident. She said, your mask. I went, huh. Now, right now, I look out there. There's some of you right now. I pick it up. I can see you even in the balcony. I have good eye contact. I was a pastor 22 years. I've been on the road 30 years. I've got that eye contact. And I see some of you ladies right now are going, I don't want anybody to know that I wear a CPAP machine. Some of you, there's some men here that I sense are saying, it's nobody's business if I wear a CPAP machine. Well, y'all need to know something. When y'all came in this morning, we saw the lines in your face. I love my CPAP machine. I love my wife. I love my little Laurie. I love my family. We got these grandkids now. Andrew James, he's 5, and Maxine is 3. They named her Maxine. Is there a Maxine here? One in a million. They named her Maxine. And I love Maxine, but I mean at the time, Maxine. When they told us that at the reveal party, Laurie came over and put her hand on my leg. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. That's her big deal. You ever eating supper? Don't say anything. You know, you can't offend a millennial. You know, she's going, I want them to come for Thanksgiving and Christmas. I want them to be there. I want them to always feel welcome in our home. They'll come. They want our money. Love my boys. You know, I love, my mama's still alive, Pauline Bernadine, 94, and still looking good. I get her Alfred Dunner outfits. Alfred Dunner. I've seen some Alfred Dunner this morning. Alfred Dunner. Little blouse, little jacket, and the breeches are elastic. They just woo, woo. They just woo, woo. And my mama, I love my Pauline Bernadine. And my daddy, Floyd Leon, passed away about 12 years ago. Miss my daddy, Floyd Leon. But I love my little Pauline Bernadine. And I was telling her about my books and everything. I think I'll tell you that now because I'm getting ready to go into a little message. So it's called Transition. But you know us preachers, don't you? I got a book called No More, I got that too. It's called Grit, Don't Quit. It's my latest book. Just got it done this right before Christmas. Grit, don't quit. You know what? We got to have grit at our age. You know what? Now, I'm 70 years old. Some of y'all are 75. I can sense it in my spirit. Some of y'all are going, wait till you're 75. And then I sense someone else, a sweet lady, going, wait till you're 80. And then there's another guy going, wait till you're 85. And then there's that 90-year-old that's going, right now. But we can't quit. We have a chapter in there about Swanbergs don't quit. You know, my grandpa, who came from Sweden on the Lusitania in 1912, you know, he didn't quit. He was an orphan, and he didn't quit. My daddy didn't quit. My dad was raised as a sharecropper, you know, but we kept we worked. You know, you don't quit, and we can't quit now. And Psalm 71 reminds you and me that we got to keep going to reach this generation and the next generation. I love little Maxine and AJ. I love them more than my 2 boys. I can't help it. I had a lady at a church tell me, you love them both, but you love them differently. I said, no, ma'am, I love them more. I love AJ and Maxine. And they spend the night with us, and, you know, and Maxine knows how to work. She goes, Papa, you're so handsome, Papa. I went, Papa, I love you the best. I look at AJ and go, buddy, if you want to be in the will, you better step it up. But that's a good book. And normally I think on my website it's like $15, but I wouldn't pay that either. So it's just $10. And then I brought my classic book, Planting Shade Trees. Some of you have that. That's a good book. We got to plant shade trees that we may never sit under, but others will. And it takes grit to do that. So you might want to pick up that book. Even if you've had it before, give it to somebody. Now here's the deal. You get both of those for $10, and then you take your pick. You get a free CD that's a classic, Laurie's favorite, Living and Living Well. We stole that title from George Strait. She loves little George Strait. I said, honey, what has George got that I ain't got? And she said, a lot. Or you can get a DVD. And you know, so 3 for $20. Or 2 for $20 and a freebie. If you don't have a CD player or a DVD player, you know, good night. You can still buy them and use them as a coaster. And we'll give you a rubber band that says Jesus didn't quit and there's no quitting me, and a keychain. That's just what you need, is another keychain. But, you know, 3 for $20. Okay, moving off of that now. Now, I want to share this because here we are in Missouri. The next few minutes, I got to share this because I had a flashback. See, I'm a Texas Ranger, and we won the World Series after 52 years waiting. When we won that final game, I had both hands up to Jesus. Baptists usually go shoulder level. But I was out there, even with my rotator cuff. And we were so thrilled. But, you know, so that was exciting. But I remember way back, before waiting on my Rangers to ever win, in 1998, September the 8th, Mark McGwire, he had 61 homers, and I thought that night he could hit 62. I just sensed it in my spirit. I was up in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and I was up there speaking, and I hate to say it, but I cut my program short. I took the full honorarium, but I cut my program short. And I got to that hotel, Willow Springs or Willow Meadows or Willow, whatever it is over there. I got in that hotel room. I put on my gym shorts. You need to know this about preachers. We're like anybody else. We're normal. I got my gym shorts on. I got my Dallas Cowboy shirt on that said, "The boys are back." Well, I had to add with a magic marker, "The boys want to be back. The boys need to be back." But I'm sitting there. I got a Diet Coke in my left hand because I care about my body. I got a bucket of chicken in front of me. I got a Little Debbie Swiss roll cake in my right hand. I love Little Debbie's. I'm sitting there, all of a sudden McGuire gets up there. Y'all remember, man, those Krispy Kreme arms right there. And all of a sudden, boom, he hit that home run. When he hit that home run, I lost it. My Diet Coke went flying through there. My bucket of chicken flipped over 2 or 3 times. But I held on to my Little Debbie. I've never let go of a Little Debbie. Never. And you remember how he went over to first base side and hugged Roger Maris's family? Then they got him in that 62 red Corvette and just drove him around. Y'all remember that? And then the guy that caught the ball was just going to give it back to him. What an idiot. You sell that for $1 million and you tithe on it to the church. You know, just lay people just drive me nuts sometimes. And then he came to home plate. When he got to home plate, his son ran out there to him. You remember that? Jumped up into his arms and held him. I remember doing that with my daddy, Floyd Leon. You know, my dad ran printing presses for 45 years. I could still smell the ink in his clothes. Isn't that something? Drove a El Camino. After he died, I kept that El Camino for several years, parked next to my office. I just go sit in it sometime, smell my daddy. Love my daddy, miss my daddy, Floyd Leon. But anyhow, there it was, and that was awesome. And all of a sudden, I'm so thrilled. I get on the phone and I call home, and Laurie answers the phone. I said, "Honey, let me talk to the boys," because my daddy, when I was a kid, when Roger Maris broke Babe Ruth's record, my daddy had taken me aside and said, "You'll never see that record broken in my lifetime or your lifetime. Say it to me, son." I said, "I'll never see that record broken in my lifetime or your lifetime." "That's history, son. It's what they ought to be teaching in your school." "Say it to me, son." "That's history, Dad. That's what they ought to be teaching in your school." Don't you forget it as long as you have breath in your body. Say it to me, son. I'll never forget it as long as I have breath in my body. So on that night, September the 8th, 1998, I called my house. My wife answers. We didn't have caller ID or anything. She just went, hello. And you know that y'all can be so perky when you don't know who it is. Hello, hello. And I go, hey, baby, big Swan. Huh, what do you want? Just, fake it for Jesus sometime. I said, baby, let me talk to my boys. This is huge. She said, honey, you called 2 times. They saw the home run. Woman, this is a man thing. I need to talk to my boys. Honey, just talk to them when you get home and y'all can talk. I said, woman, I'm asking you to submit one time in our life. And she did on September the 8th, 1998. Are you with me, buddy? I sense in my spirit, it's probably been once or twice for you. And so both boys got on there and said, boy, did y'all see that home run? We saw it, Dad. We saw it. He jacked it out. He jacked it out. I said, he jacked it out. Dusty, my youngest, Dusty, ADD. He's the one with the 2 kids, Andrew, James, and Maxine. I said, son, did you see it? He's ADD. He said, saw the replay, Dad, saw the replay. You saw the replay. I called you 2 times to tell you to watch it. I almost had to take a Ritalin right then myself. And then I said these words. That's what they ought to be teaching in your school. Say it to me, son. Dad, that's what they ought to be teaching in the school. That's what they ought, the history, that's what they ought to be teaching. That's what they ought to be teaching. As long as you have breath in your body. Don't you forget that. Tell me, as long as you have breath, as long as I have breath in my body. And then I hung up. And when I hung up, the Lord said, look at Joshua chapter 1. You're going to say, now did he do? Yes, he did. That week I had been in Joshua 1. Have you ever, in your quiet time, been stuck in a chapter? And that whole week I'd been reading that chapter, and I was thinking about how does Joshua follow Moses? I mean, Moses. Just the name, Moses. You go to Israel today, and it's still Moses. How do you follow Moses? How do you follow your dad? How do I follow my dad, Floyd Leon? My dad, what a good man, such a wholesome man, a hard-working man. I mean, I'm still intimidated a lot by my daddy. He was such a good man. He was a simple man, but he was good. When I left the pastorate to do this, I called my daddy to see what Floyd Leon would say, and that was pivotal for me. You know what he said? Well, I think you're pretty funny. I wouldn't buy a ticket to hear you. That's what he told me. But he said I was funny. That was a green light for me. My daddy. Some of you have people you've looked up to, and it's hard, isn't it? To sometimes follow a parent, follow a big brother, follow your aunt, your cousin, your sister. She was Miss America. She was 5'10", 122 pounds. And you're 5 foot tall and healthy. It ain't happening. We're all intimidated. But God said, Joshua, I don't want you to be intimidated. And see, I'd been stuck there for a week because I thought about my boys having to follow their daddy to a degree. I had a little notoriety. I was a pastor, they feel like they're being watched all the time. Preacher's kids, I'm sure we got preacher's kids in here. And you understand, you feel the pressure maybe. Now there's a lot of blessings to being a preacher's kid, but there's a lot of pressure too. And so I said, Lord, I want my boys, will they be all right? That's why I've been reading Joshua, because he had to follow Moses. They had to follow me. Not that I'm something special, but, sometimes it's just tough to follow Dad, Or will they ever have the house we have? I mean, Dustin, I love him. Those grandkids, don't you love him? And he married Brittany. Brittany's a dog trainer and a dog groomer. And Dustin, he teaches history and robotics. He's a football coach at a middle school. And they ain't got a bunch of money. I mean, we're buying everything for those kids. They come over, they leave with a wardrobe, Do I get anything? No. But praise the Lord for Brittany. We love her because Dustin has learned to sit. He's learned to fetch. And recently, he's learned to stay. We love her. But anyhow, I've been reading there, and when I was reading it said, the Lord said to Joshua, son of Nun, Moses' aide, Moses, my servant, is dead. And right there at the ball game, he said, look, read John 1. I said, Joshua 1. I said, Lord, I know what it is. I'm a pastor. I majored in Greek and religion at Baylor University. I got a master's degree, a doctor's degree. I know what it says. He said, don't get cocky with me, Swanberg. Read it. I said, Moses is dead. I said, I think we all know Moses died. But all of a sudden, I knew what he was doing. He's getting me. Moses is dead. It's time for Joshua. There's going to be a time for your boys to move on and your boys to follow you. Are you encouraging them? Or are you always just talking about how good you were? I was an athlete. Many of you look at me and you can tell I'm athletic. My high school, we were state champs, beat Odessa Permian, Friday Night Lights. I need a t-shirt that says, the older I get, the better I was. And then I went to Baylor University. And we just had a Bible study at the games, but we're coming on. But, so I said, okay, Lord, what's the deal? We'll stop the game. I won't watch the game. And he said, listen, what I said to Joshua. He said, I'm about to give all this to you, to the Israel. I will give you every place where you set your foot, as I promised Moses. Your territory will extend from the desert to Lebanon, and from the great river, the Euphrates, all the Hittite country, to the great sea on the west. No one will be able to stand up against you all the days of your life. As I was with Moses, so I will be with you. I will never leave you nor forsake you. Be strong and courageous, because you will lead these people to inherit the land I swore to their forefathers to give them. Be strong and very courageous. And again later he said, be strong and courageous. Isn't that an awesome word? Oh, I love Joshua. Now here real quickly, I want to say this to you. Don't be intimidated by your past, good or bad. And I don't know what all's going on in your life. You don't know everything that's going on in my life. One thing we all know is we're sinners. Every single one of us. Only difference between me and you, I'm holding the microphone. I'm a sinner. I don't know if I'm going to hear. Matter of fact, I don't think I'm going to hear, well done, good and faithful servant. Because I know my sin. I know my sins. You know what I mean? I'm a man. I know of my stuff that I battle. But I know this. I will see a friendly face. I will see someone who comes to get me. And he comes. He doesn't send a committee. He comes and he receives me to himself. And he's smiling and he loves me. Is that awesome? Is that amazing? Because his sins, your lawless deeds, he remembers them no more. You're his child. He picks you up. He welcomes you all the way to heaven. Happy day. Happy day. Now listen to me. You and I both know that. Be careful. Satan wants to rob you of it. He said, listen, just as I was with Moses, I'll be with you. He loved Moses as much as he loves Joshua. Joshua loves him as much as he loves you, loves you as much as he loves me. He loves us. We got to get that into our head, even on our worst day, even our worst sin or this or that or your latest. It's a battle, isn't it? It's always a battle. And we get a little older and we would think that by now we could coast. Listen, Satan's as much after you and me now in these days as he's ever been. It's not time to coast. We started as a seed. We came up with a stalk and green and healthy and strong and tall. But now it's our time to bloom. This is our time. This is our time. And it's going to take our grit. It's our time. Don't let anyone talk you out of serving the Lord and doing for the Lord. Don't you take a back seat. We got to keep going. My grandkids need to see me up at church. I mean, if I have to bring my oxygen thing with me or my CPAP with me, I'll sit in the back. But they need to see that Papa is at church and that BB is at church. We do vacation Bible school. Laurie, a couple of years ago was carrying in a watermelon because she's in charge of the snacks, was going to carve a whale out of it for Nineveh and Jonah. and tripped in the parking lot and fell down and rotator cuff and bump on the head. But we went on in. You know how our generation is. We went on in and we worked and served. And then I took her to the emergency room and had them do a CAT scan thing, which my first thought was, how much is that going to cost? And then you know how you feel when they said everything's fine. And I went, well, that was a waste of money. But I love her. I love her. And, you know, when she fell out there, you know what I thought? You know, I'm going to have to pay for this CAT scan thing and everything. And I thought, well, I'm sure the church has insurance. And I thought maybe I should sue the church. But then I thought about it. If we got a settlement, then I'd have to tithe on it. So we just paid it ourselves, you know. But I wish we could count it on our taxes. But here's the deal. He loves us, and he wants us to serve. It's our time to blossom. This is our time. I hope you keep going and keep doing it. I'm so glad you came here. You need to go to everyone that you can. You need to go so much that your kids are going, they're spending a chunk of our inheritance. You need to buy every CD and book out there. Get you a sack and load up. Get that T-shirt here for the praise thing, with the heart on it. Get all that stuff so that one day when your kids open up your safety deposit box, they open it up and they see those tapes and books and T-shirts. And then you put a note on top of it saying, we enjoyed this, hope you do. You know what I'm saying? Pass it on. Look at that young lady right there going, I guess I'm going to get some CDs. Yeah, go buy yourself a CD player, honey. If you get a new car that doesn't have a CD player, you take it back and get a used car. And I want you to know this. He said, Joshua, I'll never leave you nor forsake you. I'm going to tell you, he's never going to leave you and me. And we're going through this and that. Well, I've had rotator cuff, back surgery, both knees replaced. I've had this, that, prostate, 15 months ago. That'll set you free. I carry my little nitroglycerin with me. Oh, where is it? Oh, Jesus. Some of y'all have some. I'll holler at you. But I got that just in case, that's just our life. But we got to keep going. We got to have grit. He'll never leave you. He'll never forsake you. He's with us all the way. Go for it. Show up at church. Show up and do what you can. And if you can't do a whole lot, pray. Prayer is a work. But we're going to use our spiritual gifts to the day we die. That phrase, I'll never leave you nor forsake you, is a great phrase. You read it again in Hebrews 13:5. In the Greek, it's 5 negatives in there. So with the help of Billy Graham, most time we do it this way. I'll never leave you nor forsake you. That's how we normally do it. But actually, you could translate it this way. I'll never leave you nor forsake you. It's a forever never. I love to say forever because it is forever. And isn't it awesome? He will never, ever forsake us. Even on our worst day, he's there for us. He loves us. Why? That's his nature, and that's his call, and that's his love, and that's his gift to you and me. We don't deserve it. I got 1 minute and 17 seconds to wrap this up. I could do a quick sermon, turn or burn. Or I could do one, get right or get left. I'm going to tell you something. There's going to be a day when I take my 2 grandkids, put them on my knee. Hadn't done this yet, but I'll be tempted to do my voices. I'll be tempted to do my Barney Fife. Now listen, you 2 kiddos are the cat's meow. I'm liable to do my Jimmy Stewart and go, now listen, no man is a failure who has a friend, And I'm tempted to do my Ronald Reagan and go, well, yes, I hope y'all will Google me one day. And yes, no, maybe, yes. Or I could do my Bill Clinton and say, hey, let me tell you this, young people. If I had met Sarah Palin in college, I'd be a Republican. Yeah. Lord, forgive me. Or I could do my Billy Graham form and say, God loves you and we have a plan for you. And he loves you forever. I'm going to tell you something. All those, they won't know Billy Graham. They won't know any of these voices I've done for you. But I'll tell you one thing. Jesus Christ will be as real then as he is today. And Ephesians 5:1, we can be imitators of God, imitators of Christ Jesus. And may they see that in your life and my life till the day we die. God bless you.
Each year, thousands of gospel music fans from across the country gather in the heart of Branson, Missouri, one of America's premier destinations for family-friendly entertainment. Praisefest Branson now hosts 3 annual spirit-filled gatherings each year, which bring together the finest artists and devoted fans for an unforgettable experience of worship, music, and fellowship. Our events feature uplifting concerts, powerful testimonies, and inspiring messages from renowned pastors and speakers. Praisefest Branson is more than just a concert. It's a time of renewal, encouragement, and celebration of faith through music. This event offers a warm, welcoming atmosphere where hearts are touched and lives are changed. We hope you will join us.